This is how you explain each and every painting?
No, it's an interesting thing for all of us that the exhibition on Sita, goddess Sita, has happened for the first time. And it's another interesting thing about it that many artists have participated in this
Do we have a
exhibition.
mic?
Yes, give me a mic.
We want to hear all your words. Yes, we want to listen everything. We don't want you to get hoarse, so we want you to have a microphone.
Okay. Just a moment, let me give you my card. I want to give this lady to kick it.
I think someone gave me one.
You have one?
Do you have an extra copy?
Okay. Okay.
You're guarding this, right? There you Yeah, because
Mike, she's asking for me. Okay. Resolve, and I can say perseverance. So in that sense, she is a very important personality, very important, I guess. So for this exhibition, we have chosen Sita as a subject, which is a very interesting thing for me. I look at it as a very interesting thing because people generally paint diagrams
yes.
and episodes from the scriptures.
Right.
And new artists have also chosen everyday activities or political happenings,
Right.
a lot of other things. Like I myself have done the Gujarat riots in 2002, based on the Gujarat riots, and it was a series of 23 paintings, and it was very highly appreciated across the world. It was shown in a very big exhibition called Age of Desire, and it was a big success, and it is the same series which brought me some recognition as an artist. So being a folk artist, you reach out to a bigger audience, it is a kind of achievement in itself. That's what I personally feel.
How did you start? In which tradition?
Hmm?
In which tradition of art?
In the
you started?
Madhubani style.
Are you
I work in, yes, I work in the same style like these youngsters.
Okay.
Yes, I work in the same style, but I have developed a very distinct style like my guru. Now these young painters have lots of influences on them. I have started in the 70s and it was a different time. So I was solely inspired by one artist, that was Devi. And she too was she was a rare artist. And she had left this art as a complete language. So this inspired me a lot because generally it was a folk art where you just things which are approved or allowed by the women only. But she took it beyond that. She took it as a language, and she did the first series called Life Cycle, in which she depicted the life of a woman. How does she begin as a young girl, as a mother, then her whole journey. So it was highly a contemporary theme in the 70s. No female painters have thought of it. So she stands, as a very high artist. That was she, inspired me a lot. And the other thing is was that her lines are very distinct and very much steeped in serenity. If you look at her painting for half an hour, I'm sure you won't take your eyes off. I'm telling you, if you look at my painting, you can't take your eyes off. Just a moment. So you just take a look at it. See, this is okay, you already have. So look at the lines, just see. This I have done in 2020 about the corona, situation. No, this situation made us really very aloof, cut off, and a kind of, forlorn. You are in your room all the time. you may invite a lot of troubles, also diseases as well, because you live in this space for 20 hours throughout the year, not for 1 month, not for 2 months, throughout the year. So the pandemic crisis is really something very, very, really touched me, because not only India was suffering, the whole world was suffering, not only our country. Then you got this feeling like I don't exist just as I just exist as we. क्योंकि मैंने ही नहीं सफ़र किया. And in my case, I have not suffered much because I live like a monk. So personally, I have not suffered much. But my nephews, my nieces, who were young, who were going to their offices, they were locked up in their room for the whole year. So they have lots of tension, lots of frustrations. So I said, God, what kind of times I'm seeing nowadays? It's very sad. That's why I did, and that's why you can see in this painting, this woman is just alone. There's lots of forlornness in this painting.
How big is this one?
By 22 by 30. That is the standard Madhubani size. 22 inches by 30 inches. It's already sold. It was shown at India Art Fair and it is sold. So it's a very good work.
What size will be this?
The same. No, it's bigger. It's bigger. It's 3 by 3. I guess 3 feet by 3 feet.
Okay, so which one out of this is 22 by 33? That is again a square. That's a square.
They could be in
They are done it.
no,
for
all
this.
of them could be in different sizes because it's an exhibition.
Choose to do 22
20
by
by
30.
30.
Generally, a Madhubani painter chooses to work on that size only. Unless I'm commissioned or unless an artist is commissioned, then the size matters. Yes.
But I think the tradition first started as a kind of a very sacred thing in the sense of such a part of everyone's life, and women, and the color was not permanent, right? I mean, because was it I don't know, but was it refreshed for every ritual or every event like marriage or birth and so on? How does it come into the form that there's a specific size? Because earlier wasn't it just kind of free form on walls?
No, that was decided by the government. Government of India decided the size and also functioned as a platform initially. For 70s and 80s, the government helped in a big way. After that, the government lost interest, and the art suffered a lot.
I must say the way Madhubani is taking shape. No other art form in India.
No other folk art is gaining that much importance. So in a way, it's thriving.
It's really
And since
thriving.
it has produced such stalwart painters in the past, from my generation, I'm doing so good. So I feel it's beautiful to be a folk artist. I always feel I'm no less than any artist.
She paints as a hobby.
You can paint as a hobby. Yes, you can do. You can do something like this as a hobby because this is a very simple.
I am so inspired by Shri Yantra.
That is
I want to paint,
tantric. That is tantric.
It's not tantric. It's
Tantric
a yantra.
style.
Yeah, it's a yantra,
Yes.
which they say it helps in manifestation of all what you can think of, and it actually is a human body in the form of geometry.
Okay, Sri Yantra. So is it associated with any goddess in particular?
Goddess of Shakti
Goddess
and
of
Shiva.